chase success with Global.Media.com. Let's celebrate it with or without champagne.
Hello. Not doing too badly. I'm a few minutes behind this time, but I'm here. You're here too, my friends. Welcome. Another episode of What If Live. I do get confused every so often, right? So I almost said something else, but I didn't. So I said the right event. And I said I love this room. So my What If Live is one of my favorite rooms because it's where I guess it's where one of the first ones that I did, and I did it for many years with my co-host. Literally, it was, it still is, and it's a joy. I think I love the concept. Coach David, I see you, my friend. Welcome. Lolette, it was my co-host, right? Lolette Hudson.
Hello, Annie. Hello.
How are you doing? I love this room for what it is. I love the concept, and so I was thinking simply that a lot of people think, what if? What if it goes wrong? What if I fail? What if it goes? What if it doesn't work? What if all the bad things is our what ifs, right? And I guess we're determined to change that way of thinking into what if it does go well? What if you do make a genius solution for that people need? What if you do create the life you want? So I'm just plugging in my phone for my YouTube. I'll say something today. It's quite hot, it's hot. I love the heat. It's good hot. I've got a fan on me, so I'm perfectly fine. The only other place I would rather be right now is in my car, because I love climate control. I love to freeze myself sitting in a car, right? Coach David, how are you doing, my friend? How's life going with you?
I'm good. I'm very good.
Is it hot in your part of the country as well?
Yes, it is a hot day.
Yay! And I'm not going to complain. I'm all right. So it's cold in this country too many days. It rains too many days. And the one day that is warm, everyone's like, it's too hot. So get over it. Get over yourselves, my friend. Get over yourselves. It's fine. It's all good. Look, Festus, I see you, my friend. I see you. Welcome. Just hello, Coach David. So glad you're here. My friends, if you're here, please drop us a comment. Say hi. Say where you're joining us from. So I'd love to welcome you properly. So your time is valuable. Go on. Sorry, Coach.
Yeah, Festus, I'm here. How are you? I'm excited to be here. And this is a very interesting topic that I have loads to say.
Excellent. I can't wait. Co-creation. It's I guess there's a science to it, but I think there's also a mindset element to it, Coach David. A lot of people involve customers and other people, but they do it as if it's, what's the word I'm looking? Almost as if they're fake, right? Now, either they're stealing your ideas, or they're pretending to really care what you think. I think so. I would love to discuss, the concept and how to really apply it in our business. Madam Selena, how are you today? Good to see you. I'm still waiting for your bank details now. It's not like that. It's not like that, my friends. Our anthology.
Okay, I'll send them.
You haven't sent it yet. Good to see you.
Good afternoon,
Good
Madam
to see you too.
Good to see you, man.
Glad you're here. Dr. Gwendolyn, our educator of kids and educator of educators around the world. And of course, an amazing author of about 20 books. Coach David, you got a long way to go, my friend. I bought my copy of my paperback copy of Prophetic Ecosystems
and Dynamics.
Yes, I bought it this morning. So I'm going to be here for Friday. So I'll do a video, I'm sure, as I open the package and enjoy what it looks like. But Dr. Gwendolyn is years ahead of all of us, right?
Wow. Pleased to meet you again, Dr. Gwendolyn.
America, welcome, America. So he's a marketer, but like many of us marketers, we don't call ourselves marketers. He does customer experience, but it's more like me into business growth. What's that really look like? What's that mean? I think it's got a new soundtrack. Is what it sounds like. They made me listen to different versions of his new soundtrack by Keith Keller, from what I can see. But do connect with him. Go along to his shows. It's always interesting conversations. There's conversations with Jay as well, and he has amazing guests. Amazing because I don't know any of them in real life America. If I knew them, I'd probably think they're great people, but they are normal people, superstars, of course. So connect me with them, America. Well, that's why I go to your show, right? So I'm just connect with a bigger crowd, more able people. I'll come back to that in a second, my friends. So Linda, I see you. It's America Supermom. Welcome. Thank you so much for being here, Lachelle. Thank you even more for the introduction that I got this morning to Jeff. Anyone who does introductions for me, like I just mentioned, you're my best friend. Lachelle's my best friend forever. I say, it takes a lot for us to introduce our friends to our friends. I think that we can all do better, right? Lachelle, thank you so much. I appreciate you, and I think it's a game of trust ultimately. Someone to say, talk to one of my friends. But Lachelle is that superstar who will do that for many people. Again, if you don't know about Zondra TV, Lachelle's TV production service, definitely talk to her. So last time I looked, I saw she was doing a magazine, a men's magazine. Yeah, at last, a men's magazine. No, I say that because there's many women's magazines, there's many women's only things. Now, someone's got to do a man only thing, right? I'm glad it's the show, it's not me. If I did it, they call me a pig. So it's all right. If a woman does it, we'll take it. Welcome, all of you. I'm trying to mention you, Linda. Thank you so much. When I invite people, I always think, I better invite Linda. I really want Linda here. Maybe the other one we're missing is Lisa F. Lisa Fevek, our menopause dietitian specialist. But hopefully she will join us in good time. Doesn't matter. I'll enjoy those who are here because you are the important ones, my friends. I truly appreciate you being here. Look, of course, like I was saying, this is the what if room. It's a room where we can achieve our bold ideas. I guess we'll tend to talk about the thinking, and then some of the maybe the habits that we need to develop to be those who achieve our bold ideas. That's a premise on which I base this room. So again, I would say there's always an interesting topic, especially today's topic is very, it's an important one. I guess when I say co-creation, many people say, "Oh, I do that already." Do you really? If I said to you, there is a way that you can open up your creativity exponentially. The way where you can essentially get ideas and never have to sell your idea, your solution to anyone. That's because the people that you're trying to sell your ideas to, they're part of creating this solution that you come up with, or they're part of creating your bold idea. Again, it sounds like a simple thing. I guess maybe actually I should give you a context. Is it co-creation is what everyone's doing co-creation these days because we can, and also we know it's the right thing to do. Why is it the right thing to do, Annie? Well, I guess we all need new ideas. We all need inclusive ideas. It's not about me pretending I know everything because I don't. I don't know most things, right? So imagine if I worked with my customers, with experts to create the solutions, the services that I offer. Thankfully, I do. Well, I try to be bashful and not to be too, I'm right and everyone's wrong. It's not like that. It just so happens I have my model for creating content for social media, my social media posts that we'll do, for example. It's done in partnership with the client because I want their input. I want their ideas. I want their videos. I want their pictures. I want their thinking. I want their blogs. I want everything that they do. I want the behind the scenes of their world. I want them to take center stage. When it comes to doing the books, again, so I was on one of my author friends this morning. I'm like, I keep saying, read your book, and tell me what you want. Tell me what tell me how you want it to look. Of course, you wrote the book, right? So that's the first start of co-creation. In that, I'm not the one writing the book, but even then, when it comes to how the book looks, I want my clients' control of the process. I will do what you tell me to do. See, the reason I say all that is simply because not everyone applies co-creation honestly. So one of my clients said to me again, I think we talked yesterday, and he's like, I want to choose the categories for my bestseller campaign. I'm like, you can, of course you can. Yes, I'll give you parameters. I'll give you suggestions. I'll give you the keywords and the categories I think we can win, and then you can choose from a long list of different options. Choose what you like. Choose what you think applies to you the best. You see, I say all this. This is very different way of working to what most people do, which is I have the solution, Coach David. I know what I'm doing. I know what you need. I'm going to create it, and you're going to buy it. Yeah. We don't know best, do we? Coach, talk to me. Co-creation. How does it figure in your world?
Well, I love to co-create. If you watch, anytime we're talking and I don't see your face, I'm a co-creating personality. I always say, anywhere are you? Anywhere are you? Because I like to see your face when I'm talking. I'm a very co-creative person. But over the years, I started out being very extra creative. But over the years, I've learned my lessons and I've become a conservative co-creator. Some people are very strong victims of their psycho-emotional states. They will betray you. They will hurt you. They will do stuff to you that you will regret, that you felt that, I knew this guy was going to not work well with me, and I still took the risk. So I'm tired of such risks. Does that mean I stop co-creating? If I stop co-creating, I won't be working with you any. I mean, it's so bad that people now mount if bad campaigns. So if they see me talking to any, they'll now go meet any and talk about all my weaknesses. And in the name of fact checking, which is why I'm sorry I couldn't make the last one, they begin to create bad blood and lies, all because they want to force you into a relationship with them in a very roundabout way. Now that's very evil. Co-creation should be autonomous. One autonomous person making a decision to work with another autonomous person. So I have my own co-creation selecting style and technique. I will observe you, work with you, and I will not do something big until I'm sure that I'm with the right person. I mean, about co-creating with your consumers, that's very powerful. But the other man broke it. Steve Jobs broke that philosophy when he said customers don't even know what they want until you give it to them. But I mean, I believe in co-creation. It's just that I have met many, very many bad examples of people you should not co-create with, so that I'm profiling people because what we're going is huge. We must not have doubts with the team when we get to the field. I must have the mind that any has my best interest at heart and vice versa. But I've seen a lot and I'll keep it short. If I tell you some of my stories and how people have hoodwinked and they will appear like the persons. So I'm going through a lot of, I don't believe people easily. I will work with you, I will take a risk, but it's a measured risk until I'm sure that this person we can go the long mile together. I love to co-create. There's a lot we can achieve together. I know. But I've always told you that the problem with the black man is that we don't have collaborative intelligence. The Japanese, the Chinese, the Indians, the Pakistanis, and the Lebanese all over the world, particularly in the West, have done remarkably well in this area. It's serious that they don't do mortgage. They simply contribute money. Jews do it. They don't talk to any mortgage institution. They get your deposits and they'll give you guarantees. 20 of them can give one person guarantee, put down their credit line, and then you go buy your house and then you keep contributing to the pool. If I've seen people, you contribute money together. When it comes to your own project, ordinary LinkedIn post, get 10 friends. Can we for 10 days? Everybody focus on any for 10 days. In another On another, they focus on Lisa. On another, they focus on Andre. On another, they focus on Festus. On another, they focus on Gwendoline. Just 10 days, any. Once you post my own, I will not post the other 9 people. I'll just go cold. So that's the problem. We can't even ordinary posts. Just everybody in a group of 10 people post another person for 10 days. So I withdraw from you, and then the person expects me to come back and say, oh, we can't work together. You're very proud or arrogant when you decide to go your own. I noticed that we are collaborating and you listen to more rumors than what I'm saying. Look, trust is engineered, and with each act of distrust, you remove it. I once trusted you. Oh, you're going to say I'm not a perfect person myself and I'm very arrogant and all of that. Are you sure I'm arrogant? No, I made mistakes. You made mistakes. But I put that very malicious. The word collaboration is they want to steal what you have. Just like investment can be used to steal your own capital to fund their own empire. So, and there were very wicked people. They used what I call this James Spader technique. If you've seen the movie James, they will create problems for you on your pathway so that they can forcefully come to them. They will lie, do subterfuge, pay for negative PR if possible. I'm tempted at times, even I can call out names of people that have done it behind the scenes. To me, they see you collaborating with someone else, they go sell bad blood to the person, they say fact check him, they sow doubt into that person's soul against you. Now, because they are wicked people. Now, when I hear the voice of people who are supposed to be people I don't want to collaborate with, inside the voice of my collaborator, it reduces my trust instinctively, and my past experience kicks in. I'm a human being. Anyway, those are my thoughts. But however, we need to find a way of collaborating. I wear my emotions up my sleeve. I don't go left and right. I don't bat left and right. I don't smile and I'm doing something else. No. I want to work with you, and you know me, I'll
Yeah,
be
let
upfront
me
and
mute
frank.
Gladys for a second. Yeah,
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 yeah. Welcome, Glad. It's good to see you. I'll be upfront and direct from the roof. You see me from a kilometer, but once I notice any funny thing, because I've been beaten, I've lost capital, lost relationships, lost friends. Look, I took 25 years to build the relationship. 25 odd years, paid heavy prices. Introduced a few of my friends to that relationship. That was the end of the relationship that I spent all the money. These guys messed it up, and on top of that, they think I don't relate with them anymore anytime they have a new project. So should I continue giving you my best, and you're wasting it all the time? I expect me to keep being
right.
nice.
Hold on, coach. We have an hour and a half. You get a chance to know, and I hope you're
All
going to
right,
share more as we go. So,
all
and
right, all right,
I've tried to make today an interactive one. So, to try to give everyone, I got questions that I want to ask in
all
the right
right,
place. So,
all right.
you get your chance. But now you said many things which are important. Of course, so people in the comments are asking, they're accepting and understanding what you're saying. Mark, Mr. Calm says, interesting, coach. Trusting others is at the core of collaboration. Of course, I agree. But now there's a way around that when it comes to trusting your customers. You don't just trust everyone. Of course you don't. Right. But I guess no, I have an event tomorrow, which I hope you will come to, my friends. My event tomorrow, Being Your Authentic Self for Business, which is 5 p.m. Eastern, 10 p.m. UK time. I want to talk about something that I don't think there's an answer to. I don't think there's an answer to it at all. I don't know if there is. I want to know what your thoughts are, right? The question I'm asking tomorrow is, would you work with someone with whom you've had a disagreement? I'd love to have your thoughts. So do join me for the conversation, my friends. It's part of the conversation today because I think, of course, when we mention trust, I love that turn of phrase, coach. Trust is engineered. Ooh, so that means we make trust, right? We create trust. We choose to trust or not. But let's talk about that issue tomorrow. So when it comes to co-creation, look, it involves people. Yes, things can go wrong. Many things can go wrong. Both on the customer side and also on the company's side. Many customers feel cheated by the whole process of co-creation. Many feel that we're stealing their information, their content, and then running off with it. Many think we're just paying lip service to listen to customers and involving them. We say we're listening, but we're not really. But I'll come to different types of co-creation in good time, right? Well, welcome everyone to Taisha. Great to see you as well. Yes, I haven't currently. Well, I'm so glad you're here. If you want to join the stage, my friends, the link is in the comments. So Taisha, I'm glad you make us help us understand. I guess I didn't know you were an author. I have to say, and a wellness consultant. Yeah, I suppose I knew that, and also you're also into housing, right? So I'm glad you're here. Thank you so much for joining us. I mentioned come already. Andre says, like you said, Coach, it's now the biggest challenge. Well, one challenge is trust. That's only one challenge, right? Luz, I see you. Of course, the amazing Lisa is here as well. Welcome, Dr. Lisa, as well for you. We're missing you, Lisa. We're missing your events. Yeah. So hopefully we're back on the game soon. Andre, thank you for your, I guess, positive outlook and expectations from the event. Again, look, this is co-creation at its best, right? And I think it is, because I could talk at you for an hour and a half. That's called a webinar. Whereas by having my friends on stage, then we get different views, different ideas, we get different, different insights, different experiences. All of that helps, because it means I don't have to sell this event to anyone else, to my friends next time. Coach knows why I do events, because he's on stage. He'll see the benefits for himself. Gladys as well, and of course Elena. Co-creation is a thing. But now let's hear from Selena. Then I'll come to you, Gladys. Bear with me. So, Selena, give me your initial ideas about co-creation, please.
Co-creation is wonderful as long as you understand each other. I had somebody who came to my inbox on LinkedIn and says, "Oh, let's do collaboration." And I've been looking for somebody to collaborate for some time, to collaborate with. But then I suppose I know my weaknesses. My weakness is social media. I can't do the tools, whatever things people, the computer thing, I'm not very good at that. I can do it, but I'm not very good, and I'm not keen on that. So she was, she says, "Oh, I'm a marketer. I can do this. I can do this. I can do this." So I said, "Okay, let's talk." So we had the chat, and I said, "Okay, can you check what I do, and then if you want to collaborate with me, then we can see how we can do it." But then her understanding of collaboration was, if she works for me, then she'll be collaborating with me. And I said, I can't pay you for collaboration if you are.
That's changing. It's not collaborating if you're paying them, is it?
Yes, that's what I said to her. I said, that's not collaboration. I want somebody I can do collaboration with. They said, "Oh, I think that's what I want." But I think she never came back. She never had the audacity of even saying, "Oh, I'm sorry, I've thought about it, I can't do it," or "Give me more time." She gave me a WhatsApp number. I could see her on the WhatsApp texting the day I was waiting for, last Wednesday. I was waiting for a reply. I could see that she was on WhatsApp community. I text her and record. So if you don't feel like doing it, at least tell me. Then I can move on for somebody else. She never came until today. So it's like, okay, you think, what was happening in your mind when she said, "Let's collaborate"? We didn't shout, we didn't argue, nothing. And so it's like, if she comes back, what should I do? For me, I won't do anything with her. Because if you can't honor yourself by replying to somebody you had promised or had a conversation with, then you are not good enough. So for me, it's like I want somebody who is really ready, who is willing, who is not doubting, and they know that they have their strength, and I've got my own strength. Let's push this. This is the business. This is my business idea. This is what I've put in. So let's go with it. Then she said, yes, that's good. We can run with it together. I said, okay, I'll pay for anything which is needed. If somebody who comes with the tools, automation, whatever, if you want that, I can provide that, as long as you're going to run with it. And it was such a disappointment. It was not because I couldn't find, it was somebody from Nigeria. And I thought, it's like I want to work with, maybe it was discrimination or whatever on my part. I said, well, somebody I've been seeing people from the Filipinos, from China, from India. Yes, I've worked with some of them. But now can I just get somebody from Africa? And that was what my idea was. But then she didn't, from the word go, she disappointed me. How do you work with people like that? That's my question. Thank you.
I mean, there has to be a way, Selena. There has to be a way, right? I think that's why I'm doing the conversation tomorrow. Yeah, how do we let go of the past to find a way forward? Now, so of course, we've all been hurt by people. We all have. If anyone here hasn't been hurt by people, then please come in the studio and tell us all about it. I would love to know, but that's impossible, right? But we must find a way forward. We just must. We can't hold on to. I'm revealing my secrets for tomorrow's conversation. Let's leave that alone, right? Go on, coach, please.
I'm sorry I cut into you. See, Selena said a few things. Self-awareness is the foundation for collaboration. I know my weaknesses. I know what I'm looking for. The other thing she said that is very strong to what you've said. Look, I'm aware. Look, the story is about the turtle and the snake. They wanted to cross the stream. The snake says, carry me across. The turtle says, when we get midstream, you're going to sting me. The snake says, no, you're going to be my boat. It's collaboration. So I can't want to sink, Let's go across the stream. They got midstream, and the snake stung the turtle, and the turtle dying, going down. The two of them, both of them were buried deep down in the ocean. Some persons, you see, the human personality, the subconscious is 90% of what you cannot see. Some persons at the base of their beings are a certain way. They will carry out that behavioral pattern. What they did before, they will do again. Look, Emmy, if I'm to look, Emmy, I paid for a service to you as a partner, a collaborator, never having seen you work, and based on the recommendation of someone that I knew. So I'm willing to risk all the time. I'm willing. I paid a certain amount upfront, and I'm willing all the time. But there are people who are victims in their subconscious and their souls. There's something going on. You cannot continue to cast your peer before swines. I have loads. There are people who have given opportunity despite knowing they will fumble again and again. In some cases, I will even tell the person, I know you will not do this thing again. I know you will not meet my deadline, but can we still try one more time? And I'm still going to do it tomorrow morning and day after tomorrow. I'm that resilient. But I'm telling you that these things kill collaborative capacities. Annie, I'm willing to come on your shows. Look, I'm willing to come on your shows again and again. There are people that they put money on their shows, I will not appear there because their souls are damaged.
Yes. Okay, Coach.
I'll stop there.
No, we'll get to the soul bits. I promise you. Literally, I know where I'm going with this conversation. I will get there in a second, right? And I want to hear from Gladys quickly before. I go back to my show time. So I've got a show planned. So and I know how I want the conversation to go. I know where we're gonna go. I hope, of course. You're the stars. I have to bring the gems that I hope will be shared at the right time. Gladys, welcome. I've muted you, so please unmute. No, okay. You're okay. You're muted now. So it's all good.
Oh, hello, Annie. Hello, everyone.
How are you?
I'm just doing good. I just wanted to make a comment about what Selena mentioned, that she can work with anyone as long as they understand each other. I agree with that. And I could also work with folks that I don't get along with, or we don't agree on certain things, but we come to an agreement, we come to an understanding, because what I realize is that we all have different personalities. So, hey, that's life. So just have to find a way to work around it. But it really helps for me to collaborate with someone that I get along with and we understand each other. So that's about all I have to say.
Whilst you're here, please tell my friends what you do. So I know what you do.
Oh, okay.
I'd love my friends to get to know you. As I said, I told you before we met, right?
Okay, yes. Well, I'm with this company called Mormito, and these are health and wellness products. It's a nutraceutical company, and those products help to restore your mitochondria. Your mitochondria is the powerhouse of your cells. So if your mitochondria is stronger, because we lose mitochondria as we age, definitely in those 40s. Okay, so you want to rebuild and restore your mitochondria so that your body can heal naturally. So they're wonderful products. I have one container here, Rejuvenate Gel. Topical you place on top of the skin. It works from the outside in. And the capsules, brain and body capsules. I don't have the Restore over here, but you just place it under your tongue. So these are products that really help to restore your mitochondria so that your body can heal naturally.
Excellent. I think anything that helps us be better and be healthier. I'm into these days. Maybe it's my age. I was 51 on Saturday, so I've realized I'm a long way. I'm in the second half. No, a long way to the second half. Yeah, let's see how far I go. Right? No, thank you so much for being here, Gladys. I'm so glad you're here. Coach says, great to meet you. Indeed.
Gladys, I'll be patronizing you, Gladys.
Super.
Happy birthday, Annie, although you've not sent us.
Let it go, Coach. I'm not talking about my birthday. It's gone. I'm ignoring
it. So sell us cakes, man.
It was a great day. I was offline. I didn't go on my computer at all. No one saw me. No one heard from me. So I had fun with the family doing the Candy Electric Shuffle. Candy is a song by Cameo. If you don't really know, we go back a few years. And they had a special dance which everyone was doing, and that's what my son made us do all day, literally. Every few hours, I get up and then music on, and then we have to do this dance. It's rather weird, but that's how I enjoyed my day. Of course, I ate a lot as well. And look, Michael says African professionalism has a different meaning to professionalism found in the diaspora. I don't know if that makes it right or not, Michael. I don't know if that makes it, if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I don't think that's a good thing ultimately, right? I really don't. And Coach says, Michael says co-creations requires you to be honest about your skills and deliverables and all your flaws and shortcomings and failures more than your strengths. Yeah, I'll take that. But look, my friend, let me be explicit about co-creation. Let me try and be very explicit, right? Co-creation, from my perspective, my conversation today, is purely about innovation. It's about creating solutions that are different, that are new. Create solutions that better meet your customers' needs. Simple as that. If you're going to create a course, we know what we do. We sit down, we say, right, I'm the expert. I know how to do the research. I know what you need to know. I'm going to write it. I'm going to say it. I'm going to do what I'm going to do, right? And then you're going to learn it because I wrote it and I delivered it. That's essentially us dumping our solutions on people. And sometimes our solutions don't work. Our bold ideas don't take because people don't want that solution. Co-creation is a different way of being, it's a different way of thinking. All the things that Coach has said, all the things Selena has said, all the things that Gladys has said. Co-creation has to be genuine. Of course, it has to be based on trust. But now, here's what co-creation is not. Co-creation is not asking users to generate content for social media. That's yeah, they're creating content, but that's a very shallow end. You know, co-creation is not asking your customers for reviews and testimonials. Yes, you've asked for their thoughts, their views, their insights, which can help you improve your solution, your service, your products. But that's way too shallow. That's almost gimmicky. Co-creation is not asking for feedback or customer service or customer surveys. Co-creation is a lot deeper. Like I said to you, I'll come to your point, Coach, earlier, right? Co-creation, I think it's a spiritual thing. I really do. I think it's a spiritual thing. If it's not your soul, you mentioned soul several times. You know, if involving people is not truly in your soul, it's not going to work.
Let me
mess up your TV.
Annie.
Hold on. Is that you, Selena? Selena, what'd you say? Selena, did you say something? I'm sure you did. Okay, maybe you weren't talking to us. Okay, right. So, Coach, go for it.
Sorry.
That's all right, Selena. It's fine.
I wanted to just insert a slide into that thought right where you are at, right there, Annie. Co-creation comes from creation or creativity. It comes from a depth of your soul. It is the purest of your stream.
Exactly.
Multiplied, integrated, divided with an operand in the middle, which can be like capital, funds, platform, whatever X thing, by mine and any other person, and then aggregating that to create a change in the system. I agree. So if the person is not spiritually compatible with the soul of the idea, the thing you're trying to create also has a soul. So if there's no connection with the soul of the idea and your partner in quotes, you're going to create problems. So the selection process as co-creation is not even about compatibility with you. It's also about the soul of the idea and the future of the idea itself. So the idea must also select for you the candidate opportunity of who you're going to collaborate with.
Yes.
In addition to you
I agree entirely. I really do. Go on, carry on, please.
No. I just want to insert that slide into the depth of the thought that you just shared.
Yeah, so again, I agree. Look, let me welcome Dr. Mercy. I saw you earlier, so I'm glad you're here. Thank you so much for being here. This collaboration requires both parties to bring something to the table. I definitely agree. Thank you so much for an amazing share. My friends, do connect afterwards. So go in the comments and do connect with each other and meet. You never know where co-creation can happen, right? You really never know. Look, I think Coach, when I say I agree, it's simply that we are powerful in ourselves, right? We have gifts. I'm sure that people have said already. We already said today, right? Strengths, but we have unique gifts, unique insights. That's why we're the ones who create that bold idea. Imagine if we combine our genius with someone else's genius, someone else's spiritual gifts, mindset gifts. Imagine if we could actually learn to include others. What can we create? This is why I'm blown. Well, I'm lucky that I live in a business that involves my clients inherently. I can't do what I do without them, right? And I really can't. I could publish a book or that someone gives me, but I won't. if my client doesn't play ball, they're most shocked when I just stop. I said, I'm waiting for you. When you're ready, let me know. You know, I'm saying co-creation. I can't create a variety of books on my own, but I can create genius books because my authors have genuine inputs. You know, when Selena and I, we could easily write a book about health. Selena has written a book about surviving cancer, for example. I'm saying that our plan to write an anthology, a group book of other people who survive other illnesses, so much richer than what one of us could come up with, what two of us could come up with. You know, I'm saying, so let's truly understand the power of co-creation. And I say again, when done properly, we don't have to sell our idea to anyone, because the people that want to buy our idea, to invest in our idea, our customers, in other words, they are already involved. They know the idea. They were part of designing it. They're part of creating it. So now they have buy-in already. You know, they're going to be our advocates who are going to tell their friends, oh, look at this amazing solution we created, right? You know, that is the joy. You know, and ultimately, we know our idea that we co-create will work better. Now, there's something. Let me show you a quick video. It's Tracy, welcome, superstar Tracy, our audiobook genius. I'm so glad you're here. Welcome. I'm looking forward to your next room, Tracy. Yeah, you might have to remind me. LinkedIn will remind me, because I clicked attend. So just connect with Tracy. I love people who do events, obviously. There's many events going on, my friends, you know, so I'm glad. I think we're picking up again from where we were when this first started. Let me show you a quick video, my friends, about what co-creation really means to me and what it takes. I think we need to get now. I guess let me show you the components, and then we'll talk about how you feel about implementing these components, my friends. Hopefully hopefully what I said makes sense. Let me show you the video first, and then we can talk about it, right? That's the simplest way I can say what I'm trying to say. It's only 2 minutes long, so here goes, my friends.
Hi, I'm Alexa, and this is the Marketing Minute on co-creation. Co-creation is a buzzword these days. In fact, a recent IBM global research study showed that 61% of leading CMOs are using co-creation, and it's having a huge impact on their business. Companies like J.Crew, BMW, Network Health, Domino's, and more are using co-creation as a strategic advantage to give everyone, employees, customers, and non-customers, a seat at the design table to build better products, services, and experiences together. Since 2013, AE has guided companies along their co-creation journey. So you may be wondering, what are the elements necessary to start a co-creation project at your company? Here's 5 that matter to us. For starters, co-creation takes vulnerability. That means your brand must be willing to venture out into the market and engage with consumers to hear the good and the bad about your company, its employees, and your own industry. However, it's not enough to simply hear what your consumers have to say. You must also be listening to what the market tells you, and then act on it. Next, your brand must provide clear and consistent communication with your employees and external partners to set proper expectations around roles, responsibilities, and possible outcomes from the process. Co-creation requires you to provide customers, and at times non-customers, ownership by giving them a seat at the design table. By bringing these consumers inside the walls of your organization to work hand in hand with your employees, you will create a meaningful partnership. Now, every brand's co-creation journey may be different, but there is one thing that must be consistent, and that's commitment. Because in the eyes of a consumer, there's nothing worse today than a company that makes a promise it doesn't end up following through on. So, to review, there are 5 necessary elements for your brand before embarking on a co-creation journey of your own: vulnerability, listening, communication, partnership, and commitment. If you're interested in co-creating with us, check out our website and contact us.
Yeah, I'll take that. Okay, and I think that sets the scene a bit more for what I'm thinking. Now, my friends, now I guess, what are your thoughts on the components of co-creation? Maybe I should ask a better question. And the question I really want to ask is, which of those 5 things in co-creation, which excite you and which scare you? That's a real question, right? So, Coach, please feel free. If anyone, ladies, feel free. If you want to start as well, you feel free, right? What does it? What excites you? Does being vulnerable excite you? Does it scare you? Molly, I see you. Welcome,
All
welcome, welcome.
those
Go on, Coach, please.
all those 5 elements are all summed up in trust.
Yes.
And like I said, for me, it's whether we are compatible in the first instance and whether this partner or these persons are compatible with the future of the idea itself. For me, I would rather choose peace than go to war with someone that will sell me in the middle. I mean, once our value systems doesn't align, or I know that the internal, you see, your values will always seek you out. You don't choose your values, they choose you. On the dial, you keep moving at the subconscious level towards your values.
Mm.
If, for example, your value is more towards money and profit or taking advantage of others, our collaboration has a tone already set from the beginning. If I don't share the same value with you, it's either I'm now able to let you take advantage of me and I don't care, or I'll say, well, we are collaborating. And some people's vision of collaboration is different. It's not even clear to each other. So all the 5 are very important. My bigger point is, for me, vulnerability, especially because I can trust that I can be vulnerable here. But when I know that it's a predator-prey relationship masquerading as co-creation, so that I can bring the best of my ideas and somebody wants to cannibalize me, forget about it. I will in fact bring ideas to the table. I will in fact dramatize as if I'm in the drama to see, look, I've done a lot of personal laboratories. I will set up systems. I will give you innovative stuff because I know where it's going to end. And I will test because I want to convince myself that I was wrong. And 95% of the time. Now, because I don't want to lose out, I don't want to regret in the future that I did not collaborate with you. So I'm going to allow the thing run. But 95% of the time, 95%. Remember, I'm intuitive, and I'm not saying that this 32 years of developing my intuitive gifts. Look, I'll run through. Everybody has a genius. I'll run through the scenario, systems, organizations. When people talk collaboration, they want to cannibalize others. I'm sorry, I'm being blunt. I'm a positive person, but bro, my eye don't see. On the ground, people want to cannibalize your soul. They take your idea and they're going to couch it in things like co-creation, collaboration. There's this fancy, you see, there's a way you can entirely take a pipe and you want to put the monkey inside it. So I would dramatize and pretend like I don't know what you want to do because I want to test the apparatus. And then you cage me, and then you cage me down the line. I'm laughing at I knew. Look, I can even allow some of my best ideas to run on the table for a while, knowing that you're going to do something down the line. But look, I don't want to be like I'm the one that cut the pipe, that I was paranoid. So I want to prove a point. So I'll let you run. So I have other testing styles. I will watch. I will pay, do anything. But at the end of the day, deep down internally, I'm checking out. To conquer the world is easy if you have the right partners with you.
For sure. Look, for sure.
I have people that if they tell you they're going to be there at 5 o'clock, as long as they are breathing, if they're going to be late, they're going to message you. This man, I won't mention his name. He promised me he was going to be at somewhere by 5 p.m. And I got from other sources that 12 people told me he was not going to come. His wife said he's going through a lot. He arrived at 5:10, but he had sent me a message at 5 p.m. that was coming. Today, I've seen him, I've known him for about 15 years. That guy, I will enter the water for because I've seen him repeatedly. Trust is a reservoir. All those 5 things that she wrote is a reservoir. In a brand journey, in a world where people come to collaborate with you to take over a brand. Let me tell you a brand story. Coca-Cola will, for example, buy the leading brand of Pepsi. I'm sorry I'm mentioning these brands.
No, all companies do. They buy the smaller brands to take over the company.
Thank you. And they will pretend like they are collaborating and they will bring innovation and chat to the table.
And some will sell the brand. They destroy the brand from within. And I see it every day.
Thank you. Because they want to protect their leading brand.
Yes.
In a world like that, where you have collaboration, co-creation. It's competitor driven, but collaboration led or co-creativity led.
Right.
You got to have games at multiple levels.
Yes, and the co-creation that works. So I'm going to come to you, Selena and Gladys, next. The co-creation that I guess you got two options, Coach. Company led. So essentially, there's 4 types of it now. So collaboration is one of the co-creation types, right? Coach, I'm going to meet you for a second, right? So it's going to be a company led endeavor, or is going to be customer led. That's a choice we have to make when we go towards co-creation. Who decides in the end? The best co-creations, the authentic ones, I guess at best we'll both decide, right? The company has to create a framework, create the environment, create the systems, the processes to get people's views. And then to listen, to hear our 5 steps, have to be open to the views in the first place, have to actually hear what people are saying, and commit to take action on what our customers are giving us as their ideas. Otherwise, what's the point? Of course, there's all the Taisha. I see what you say, Taisha. Thank you for answering my question. Directly and clearly. No one else has to, Taisha. That's why I'm thanking you especially, right? So consistency is simply saying we need to create systems. This is not a one-off thing. It's not, it's not a gimmick. This is our way of being. I can't say enough. To me, this means something. It means that we have to be the people who truly value our customers' input, and we want to put them in the center of our business. How many companies do you know who actually do that? None, pretty much, right? Not many. So there's not, and that means, so when I say create systems, the internet makes it easy to get people's views. You can send surveys out by email. You can do all sorts of crazy things, right? You can even involve people in Zoom calls and again a customer forum. But then they have to meet regularly and often with the people who make decisions. They must, and Taisha, I appreciate it. Vulnerability is scary. It is scary.
I can't hear you.
Oh no, your signal is playing up.
I can't hear you.
And I can hear, I can see that. Can you hear me, Coach? Coach, no?
Yes, I'm listening.
Okay, so you can hear me.
My internet, my internet is choppy, so when I'm not transmitting, I try to reduce the flow.
So,
I'm here.
So
I can hear you.
Gladys, can you hear me, Gladys? Okay, I'll tell you what. I'll refresh my screen, but I'll lose most of my comments. That's why I don't lose all of them just yet. Let me welcome Molly. Molly, welcome. Interesting concept of co-creation. It definitely is, Molly. Making it work is even more interesting, right? I love Michael's comments. The reason I'm doing this, I'll take myself out of the room, come back in, and see if that helps Selena. Otherwise, Selena has to do the same thing. So Michael says, you don't choose your values, they choose you. No, you choose your values, Michael. You choose what you choose to, what you believe in and what you prioritize. That's your choice. It's all our choice, right? It's like, oh, that was so sweet for Coach. Coach, I think it's something you said, right?
Yes. I wanted to explain the meaning of that.
Please.
The meaning of that is that in an area of activity, you will repeatedly choose your values. Your values choose you. If, for
Yeah.
example, if for example you have an activity that says family, another activity that depicts fun, another one that depicts finance. When you do values clarification exercise, you will repeatedly be choosing. If you're a family man, your hand will you keep choosing. When I give you 4 options, you choose family. When I give you 4 options, no matter the scenario, so your values find you. That is who you are below at the 80% that beneath the surface that we cannot see. It guides the direction of your life. It is
Yes.
Selena cannot hear us. It is the
Selena,
principle.
still not.
She has to log out and log in. Most likely
Yeah.
she receive a phone call.
Yeah.
She
No.
has to
Okay.
log out and log in.
Yeah.
So there's a principle of the dominant desire. No, your most dominant desires are driven by your value system, and your values always choose you. Meaning, if I put the dice in front of you, you will keep dialing the same thing. If you have fun as a value system, even if that's the last dollar in your pocket, you find a means of having fun. If you have frugality as a value system on the dial and there is the last dollar, you will save it. So those behavioral habits are die hard. So if the value that the person has is not compatible with the direction of this co-creation energy, there'll be energy clash. The person can help themselves. When they get midstream, they are going to sink. So in addition to selecting a co-creation partners that are compatible with your value system, it must be compatible with the values of the entity that you want to create or the energy of it. Otherwise,
Yeah.
the universe will collapse.
Yeah. Okay. No, coach. There is. No, I had to put this. I'm not thinking of you're not going to choose one customer to be your customer forum, if you want to call it that, right? You're going to choose a few. Are you with me?
That compatible, a few that compatible.
Yes. We'll talk about that next. Who do we choose? Who do we select to be our customer voice? There's an answer to that question. I'll come to that in a second.
Okay.
Gladys, please talk to me. What's your of the 5 things we looked at: vulnerability, making sure we listen and act, consistency, giving our customers ownership, and making a commitment to make co-creation happen. Which one scares you? Which one excites you?
I would say consistency.
What, scary or good?
Wait, I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Is consistency scary or exciting to you?
I don't know. Maybe I'm not hearing you well. You said consistency doing what?
Is consistency exciting or scary?
To me, it's exciting. I'm sorry, I didn't understand you.
That's fine.
Yeah, that's exciting because you want to be consistent. That's how you get things done with consistency. You can't one day not want to do it and the next day you want to get things done. So consistency is very important in any business.
Again, I agree with you. So, no, do any of them scare you?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I had to step away, so I missed that part when she gave like the 5 things we should consider. So I stepped away. I'm sorry, I didn't.
That's all right. I suppose the best way I can do it is, are you happy to be vulnerable in terms of making your business open to all? Your service. Are you willing to be truly open and take ideas about every part of your business?
Yes, I don't have a problem with that. I don't mind being vulnerable because I do need the help. I do need advice, suggestions, ideas. So I'm all for that.
Excellent.
So yes.
Excellent. Right. Thank you so much, Gladys. I think look, many of us don't like being vulnerable. We don't want to be open. We are open to a degree. We're on social media, and people show you what they want to show you, right? And they want your thoughts on the good bits. They don't want to show you the bad bits. The real, the bits, the subconscious bits that coach is talking about, because we're so used to showing our shiny side. We don't want, anyone to see the other side, which is there, right? And we've all got them. So don't feel special if you think that you've got your limitations. We all do. I've got many, but I get over them, right? you know. But I think, Coach, coming back to, I guess, who do we choose to, co-create with? I guess here's a simple principle that I guess companies use. Again, it might help you understand why people don't always call you and say, Gladys, what do you think? Come and be a part of our forum. Right. Here's why. You see, companies will always select their top 1% of customers. You can't make it open to old customers. You really can't. Because not all customers, as Coach has been saying all the way through, have good intentions. And maybe even have the insight. You want to choose those who can add value, those who know your business enough and know your product enough to really have something to say about it. So that's the answer, Coach. When I keep saying that, be careful who you choose, of course. Choose choose those who really can add value. That's I can't say enough. Who are your top 1% of customers, my friend? Do you know? There's a point here, Coach. I think we want to co-create, right? It's a good idea. We'll see the benefits. But in reality, the work is done before the co-creation campaign starts. The work is done beforehand. Now, you mentioned it yourself, Coach. Your friend, for 15 years. So it's a long-term relationship. You can trust them. They can trust you. And they have no nefarious plans or intentions. Do you know your customers enough to say these are the ones who I can genuinely trust? And also maybe they have some, they have what I call subject matter expertise. They're the ones you really want. Go on, Coach, please.
Yeah, they generally, it's a mixture. First of all, it must represent all the interest I want to see from a surveying perspective. That may be sample size, share of voice, demographic inclination, meaning that if I'm doing something for men above 40, then it must be an adequate representation of men above 40 from different geographical expressions on the earth. The keyword is select, and it doesn't have to even be people that are similar to you in orientation or worldview. In fact, I can see Molly say people that can have different perspective and add value. That's it. And inside different perspectives will mean people that are useful for me, but they occupy my blind spots. People that occupy my blind spots. I have blind spots. I'm one person. The beauty of co-creation and concepts like inclusion is share of voice and share of opinion. If you want to cook for the whole world, you are African, your taste bud is very spicy, but the world is not spicy. Everybody in the world is not thinking, they don't eat too much spice. So if you're going to be cuisine you're going to start a kitchen or a restaurant in a cosmopolitan center where you're going to have customers from all the continents of the world, then you must have the tolerance and the system to hire different chefs and also do survey across the different taste buds and palates from an experiential standpoint until you arrive at the menu. Second thing is that it must be continuous. It must be continuous. It cannot be, I did a survey 6 months ago or a year ago or 2 years ago. It's a continuous evolving process. That's the second thing. The third one is that we must eliminate bias in the sample size. There is the tendency to choose only people that are like us, and we don't like people that with dissenting views. Like I don't like any, because any always likes to dissent with me first of all. but Michael is my friend because we both like to descend with Annie. That's a joke, by the way. But seriously, be careful of the blue blood. The King of England and his family were dying at some point because the family of England is the dying at some point because the hemoglobin in the blood, the royal blood or the blue blood, the hemoglobin factor began to reduce. So there was no clotting at childbirth. So they had to begin to marry. Before, you could only marry first princes and first daughters. They don't marry from outside the blue blood. They don't want to dilute the blueness of the blood. But when the disease condition genetically began to weaken the royal family so that they would go extinct. So if you preserve yourself too much and your own worldview, you can go extinct like the dinosaur.
Genetic,
Exactly.
defects run amok.
Exactly.
That's how you go extinct.
Exactly. So because the planet began to reduce in size. The planet began to reduce in size. Dinosaurs kept on giving to babies that are very big. If you go research, elephants are getting smaller in terms of birth size at birth. The reason is because the planet fragmented, the continent splitted, the planet became smaller and smaller and smaller. Dinosaurs remained big until no amount of food could sustain the dinosaur. Dinosaur had to die of the food chain. Adaptation is the rule of survival. So if you preserve your worldview alone, or a narrow worldview in the customer segmentation, or you lose the power of continuous surveying, or the humility of continuous feedback departs from you, hubris, the kind that made the royal geneticists of England to now suggest that they can now marry from the earls and the dukes, will set into the business. So that is the humility to accept dissenting views and make sure that you give them prominence to actually play their part in the product development process is huge.
Coach. Now, Selena, can you hear us now? Selena, you still can't hear us now? Oh, I'm distraught. You're here, but you can't hear us. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to do now. I don't know if we'll leave and come back. Would that help?
No, she should restart her device. Restart her device altogether. Our audio is being used by another app. That's most likely the problem.
Okay.
Our audio is being pinned down by another app.
I hear you.
She can restart her system and then, or go to another device.
I'm sending Selena WhatsApp messages, right? Okay.
Shut down that device, restart it, or use another device.
Yeah. Okay. Now, Coach, I was laughing while you were talking because this is why you and I, are more than friends. This truly. I'm writing a book. Molly, don't encourage him. I'm writing a book about incest. That's why I know the dangers. But Molly says a great analogy, Coach. So that it definitely is. And Molly also says, I would love to co-create with people who can add a different perspective to add value. It's a word to add value, Molly. It's a word to add value that we're looking for, right? Different perspectives is good. But look, here's the risk you talked about earlier, Coach. It's trust conversation that you mentioned earlier. The risk is that people are going to steal your idea. I know people who will not talk to anyone about their business, even though they provide services and products. And they just sign an NDA, non-disclosure agreement. I'm saying that's not a way to run a business. Coach, and Gladys and everyone in the audience, it tells me that there's a step before co-creation. There's a step where you get to know your friends, know your clients, love them, and give them that love that no one else can. That way they're at one with you. That's what we have to create. This is again, I think it's a spiritual and a mindset thing, Coach. The way you call it values. If we don't truly love our clients, we don't truly believe in them, and we show that for a long time, we don't just say wake up tomorrow and say, right. Well, of course we could. We wake up tomorrow and say, right, I want to try co-creation. I want to involve my customers. I want to get some ideas in. I wonder what we're going to create, right? That could work. It's much better if you know who you're talking to. You make
Yeah.
friends with them, and you get them to understand your values.
Yep.
Once you understand it.
You're right. Emmy, just let me add one more thought to what you're saying. 100%. Before collaboration, there should be intimate cohabitation.
Yes.
I use that phrase, which is watch the person, use people be at home with people's strengths. Look, there are friends. Look, if I'm going to have an event where I need a compare that will arrive on time, I won't use any.
No, don't. So I won't be on time.
And that is not me against any.
No,
If I,
it's
if
honesty. It's knowing me. You know me too well, coach. That's the problem.
you understand, now I'm the one who is wicked in quotes. If I start a system and I expect any to be the janitor or the first man at the door, you play in life with people the way they want to be played with, or and the way they are engineered, or the way they are willing to grow to be played with. Now you must study people enough and systems enough to know how to collaborate. Collaborative intelligence is understanding the interface and how we're going to plug and play so that there's less noise when we get to site. Now, it may take me 10 years to master someone. I'm willing to wait until it's clear to me. There's some people you can never be around by being choleric. I got a younger brother. The only way to deal with him is to appeal. He doesn't like any harsh tone. He can't help it. He'll just begin to rebel in very crazy ways. So my late mom was one that gave me his code. She said to me one day, your brother loves people and is very emotional. Appeal to his sense of emotion. From that day, he became my best friend. So my younger brother, anytime I want to greet him, I will say, Oga, meaning boss. Then I'll wind for about 1 minute and talk about how his day has been, how about that his car, that his beautiful shoe, what about his wife? And then eventually I get to say, oh, by the way, could you help me use your kind office, your excellence to help me do this? He's already moving. He's already calling people for me. But if I come and say, hello, yeah, how are you? All right, I need the following items. He's going to start telling me funny things. How his chickens have just given birth.
Story, right? Story, drama. The drama of life. Like,
So how would people want to be collaborated with? What's their communication style? What's their language style? How do they understand? What's their context? What languages do they understand? What does words mean to them? What pictures form behind the scenes when you act a certain way around them? When I understand all of that, then collaboration is easy. Once I get that, I will still be formal and be slightly distant. That's my just to add to what you were saying about designing that interface before we get to collaboration.
truly. Gladys, please, feel free to what are you thinking about our topic now? I guess maybe it's a trust conversation we're having now, right? Would you trust people, and do you have people that you can trust? To have input into your business, into your products, into your service.
Yes, I do. Trust, that's a hard one. So, and I can think of a few people.
Excellent. I mean, as Molly's saying, let them steal your ideas. Imitation is not the same as the original. Molly, I agree with you entirely on that one. You can steal what I say. You can steal, and maybe even how I say it, but you can't steal what I'm thinking and what I know in my head. The values that Coach mentioned, you can't steal those, right?
No.
And people will try. And also maybe imitation is also the greatest market, is the greatest compliment, they say, right? But we need to trust people to not steal our ideas, and to have good intentions.
Yeah. So like I said, there's some that I can trust and some I can't, but there are more folks that I can trust that I can't trust. So just have to
well, choose right. Maybe that's where I want to put it today, right? Choose right.
Choose wisely.
Yeah, truly. And I also and I will also say nurture them. Let's learn to nurture. This is when we say consistency, it's not a buzzword, it's a real thing, right? It means, say, I think co-creation is a way of being, it's a way of running your business. Realizing that the input from others is the key. Otherwise, you're forever chasing your tail, trying to get them to buy. Like I say, if we're forever the genius and we're trying to sell them something, if they co-create, then they're buying from themselves. They're buying their idea. It's a whole different thing, right? We're not trying to sell them anything. We're saying you asked for it, you designed it, we made it happen. It's here. Come get it. Because people will create what helps them in their lives.
And they also need to get to know you as a person.
Exactly. And I can see a risk that this and coach, which is that as we get bigger as companies, when we get employed, look, today, with just us is fine. It's once you start getting partners, not customers, partners, staff, a team, how do we create the mindset the trusting mindset, the knowledge of you, as you're saying, Gladys, where your customers truly get to know, they trust your team, they trust the people, new ones, and because the people do what they should do, right? Go on, coach, please.
You see, my experience, the bigger the money, the bigger the funny.
Oh, come on, that's a quote I have to write down, right?
People are very okay. Annie, I'm sorry, I'm using African Gladys and as an African, inflection. People are okay. O is double emphasis. Until we go from £1,000 or dollars to 10,000, then we move to 50,000, then we go to 100,000, and it gets more complex. Then people begin to show their true colors. How do people respond to money, real big money? And until that's one of my ultimate tests, until I see how you handle the 10,000 transaction and how I was discussing with someone on a project, and he immediately was telling me 50-50. And there's a way he behaved on that business that what he's bringing is the worth of 10% or 20%, not 50-50. And I pushed it to him. And look, the interesting part is that I'm going to go into that business with him, but there's a limit to how much money we can do. Once money is big, he will get greedy. It's a matter of time. So people's behavior is also, it's also not, it's elastic. It has tolerance limits. After a while, it gets modified based on how much money is on the table and how much finance is on the table, if you get what I mean. So, what's my bigger point? The bigger point is collaborative intelligence also has to do with watching people over a long period and in scenarios where money is on the table, real money. And I'm also interested in watching when I'm not in the room. What's going to happen behind my back? And here's the interesting part: when you find that partner that locks in, or that collaborator that locks in, it just locks in perfectly, and you can go a very long haul. The other thing I want to say is that a lot of people claim that they are assets, but they're actually liabilities. A friend of mine told me a story, and look, there are many authors around you, Annie, but we need assets. Let me explain what I mean by assets. Because after a while, by the time some additional authors, because by the law of economics, when you keep adding auto, at a point, diminishing returns, the saturation, and then diminishing returns will set in. So the assets you need may be on the distribution side. Let me give an example. Somebody appeared on the Oprah show and her book was $12. Let's say her profit was $2. At the end of the show, she had 400,000 copies sold and another 200,000 copies ordered. Now, that is co-creation. That is partnership that works. Do you understand? Now, what did she bring to the table? Book. that caught Oprah's attention. She had a collaborator, a friend who introduced this lady to the Oprah show, and she appeared on the show, and she netted 400,000 times $2.
Mm.
Those are the kinds of conversations people should be having. Not that I'm an asset, I'm your best co-partner. What is intangible value, P and L factor? Look, if you are close to Gladys, I just discovered Gladys today, this evening. I'm sorry, I'm using the word discover for a human being, but that's because she's a resource person. I can see myself living long because Gladys is in the room. She explains scientifically mitochondria, and I know biology enough. Once she said that, my brain kicked in. I googled my mitochondria. I need to talk to this woman. She has to ship me some of her stuff. Let's even see what she's doing. Do you understand? So this thing you're bringing to the table, is it a catalyst? Is it an activator? Is it an accentuator? Is it a deal maker? Is it a ladder? This thing that you bring to the table in a partnership, what is the use of it? What should we apportion? Because if you don't define the value, we don't even know how to reward or enumerate it. So people worked for all these years, but we need you've written a book, but we all need to get on X show. We need to be on the stage with someone that has a followership of 1 million people all over the world on a daily basis. That is a productive partnership that we should all stake to buy. And then if that kind of relationship exists, we will be willing to remunerate that relationship more because we need it now. But you keep shouting about your own bit when there are 12 people like you also in the room who have the same value. So that honesty of audit to say, look, on this table, I think I need this kind of help more than this. And ability to prioritize is huge. That's my point.
No, I think that's part of creating the systems. Again, I'll come to you. So, Molly, thank you for spending your time with us. It's been great listening and contributing. You contributed beautifully, Molly. I'm grateful to you for being here. Thank you so much. Michael has a couple of questions, which I think that we'll probably we'll address those before we go. Let me show you a quick video about what collaboration is not, or what co-creation is not. I don't like Instagram videos, but here we go. It has to be done, right? There's no other way around this. So bear with me. Where's Instagram? Instagram is there. I have to go to. No, it's not this one. Why is this coming? No, stop sharing this. I don't want this. Different tab. Taking me to my internet. Okay, maybe I need to go here. Okay. Let me refresh this, and then I love this man's point about what collaboration. Hold on. That didn't work the way I wanted. What went wrong there then? Something went wrong there. Something went wrong. Sorry about that. Let's try again. Okay. No, you have to see the person, right? Okay, sorry about that.
Totally wrong. Lucky for you, backslash and dot dot dash just dropped 4 new rules for how to do co-creation right. Today, brands continue to tap their audiences for ideas, and technology is making that participation easier than ever, from social media to now even generative AI. But the payoff isn't always clear. You can't just say, hey consumer, send us all your best ideas for free. People aren't dumb. They see this imbalance. You can't frame co-creation as empowerment if it feels like exploitation. Brands need to nail mutual value exchange. People demand transparency, reciprocity, and infrastructure for shared credit, revenue, and co-ownership, because co-creation is not a marketing stunt. It's a business model. So what does that look like? Some of my favorite examples are in music. Subvert is a collectively owned alternative to Bandcamp. It's a co-op model, owned and controlled by its community of artists, labels, and fans, and they shape product decisions. Also, the artist Holly Herndon created a system that not only allows her fans to make music using an AI model of her voice, but it also allows them to commercially release those co-created songs and split the revenue between the creator and Holly. So please, brands, no more creative extraction. Build the infrastructure for shared attribution and royalties, not just vibes and hashtags. If you want to learn more about our 4 rules for co-creation, as well as the role that dupes and AI are playing, head over to backslash.com for some free game.
Okay, I do like that. You know, again, coach. You know, of course, you mentioned the money side of things, which is important. Now, how do we share the rewards? You know, the funny, as you call it, coach. You know, the bigger the money, the bigger the funny, right? How do we share the money? You know, how do we co-create and give our as partners? And again, I think this comes back to what's in our soul, right? Some people will cry about it. Say tonight, it's my business. It's all mine. No. You know, we're not co-creating if all someone's doing is giving you their ideas and you run away, you make money and they don't. So, you know, and there's also, of course, the investment side of, you know, this co-creation is going to involve you investing time and money, make it work. And even if that time and money is simply to build relationships with these people who are going to co-create with you. Coach, you know, you and I say that we're embarking on this conference, on this conference campaign that we're going to run, right? You know, I'm saying there's 4 of us, and we have to find a way to make it work for all of us. Otherwise, go on, please.
Yeah, you see, there are 2 definitions of value. There's value in terms of the P&L of dollar or pound sterling, and there's value in terms of value system. The value system of the partners around money must be communicated and negotiated upfront before we go to value that I am bringing to the table. These 2 values must be denominated. And then what is the economic value? That's the third one. What really in the marketplace is this about? Out of the 3 of us, who is the person that is the genius of this or the genius of that? And how do we denominate it? I mean, is the pan the most important part of the wheelbarrow or the tires? Or is the engine of the aeroplane the most important parts or the body parts? Or we will operate this for long for free and hopefully build our brand, and so that people are addicted to us like Google did. And if we're going to sell off tomorrow, and let's assume something happens to someone and maybe their daughter or son dies off, or they are not in a good place, can you trust the partners that they will remunerate the money to your estate? Those are very deep business considerations. If all of us have said we're going to go hungry for 10 years, in quotes, God forbid, and then money comes only in year 10 after one partner is dead, would we send the money to his children or our children? I mean, those are conversations that partners need to put in fine print with the presence of a lawyer.
Oh, actually, again, I like that, right?
With the presence of a lawyer, and when they do that, then they can now start. But once the idea has money, once what you're committing will give more than £1,000, discuss it. Because the moment money becomes big, troubles become big. People are fine when there's no money, including marriages. All partnerships are fine. I mean, church, every time I've been to places, people are very civil, gentle, normal. Once money came into the room, they became other men.
Yeah. They became funny, coach. They became funny, right? As you say so beautifully. Worknesh, I see you. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. Michael, I'm ignoring you on my Instagram genius. I dislike Instagram video. I don't like that whole narrow thing. I fill my screen. Yes, please. All that reels and stuff. But anyone who knows me knows that's what I'm like, right? Gladys, I wonder what you think. In terms of how do we make it worth their while? How do we really share? And maybe say also sharing ownership. So when I publish a book, it's not my book; it's your book, right? Your ideas, your content, your book. You pay me to do a service, and then I give the book back to you and say, "You go with it the rest of your life." As you're saying, what happens in years to come? Who gets the rights once we're gone? Gladys, what's your take?
Well, since you help with everything, I think it should be split. If you really help with the collaboration and everything, so it should be even split between the two of us.
Go on, please carry on.
No, I'm sorry. I should get everything because everything wasn't my idea.
But again, I'm sure you've seen companies that just take the money and they think it's theirs. They think because it's the names evolve somewhere. So I love the example that the video gave with the pop star. That basically said you can use my words, you can even use me in your videos. You create what you like, and they will share their royalties. How many musicians will say that? Not many.
Not that many. Some folks are it's greed. And I believe in karma, so greed is not a good thing.
I totally agree with you. And I think let's try and answer Michael's question, right? So Michael, of course, it makes a point. First of all, no product thinks independent of the creator, except for human beings. How is that collaboration with the creator? I think that's where the question really lies, Michael. This is where this conversation really is. I can't say enough. What's in your soul is a question that's going to determine whether your co-creation projects, ideas, initiatives, grow or fail. It is our spiritual being, our spiritual selves, I think, truly matters. So again, Michael's saying it again. What's the nature of our collaboration with the universe? Gladys, what's your take? What? I don't even know whether you're a spiritual person. I'm saying, where do you think our true selves, our inner beings, fits into all of this?
Oh, the universe. Well, the universe is watching, and like I mentioned, you have to be careful what you put out there because it will come back. So it's just good to just try to do the right thing. Put it that way.
Yeah. I'm totally with you. Thank you so much. It's a big question. Let's not be shy. Gita, I don't know how to pronounce your name, properly. Welcome, my friend. I'm meeting you on Thursday. I'm excited to meet you. A Nigerian brother, Coach David, who's doing great things to support our young people into entrepreneurship with the right knowledge, right skills to build a business and grow a business. My friend, anyone who does that sort of thing, I'm right behind you, right? So welcome. Coach, what's your take? Where does our connection with our creator? I mean, now you write about divine inspiration, divine input every day, right? Most of your book are about our relationship with the divine is what I call it, right?
Yep.
Michael says I can't spell divine. I know, Michael. I think there's an E somewhere at the beginning. Go. So what's your take? Where does this out in our relationship? how God really will come into it.
Yeah. I think having studied genius in the human soul and talentedness in the human soul for about 30 years, a few things come to mind. Number one, we are a part of a bigger sum or bigger whole. Each of us is an expression of the Creator. Some were meant to show forth His splendor or our splendor because God is genderless, in my opinion. Although the Bible creates a male persona, which is my strongest persuasion, but there is also maternal reference to God's personality in the Bible. Because if He says, "If my father and mother forsake me, then God will not." That is a superior gender to male or female. Male or female is a reason in creation. That's why we came. But there's a divine substance inside us that's bigger than male or female. So, whichever persuasion you belong to, at the end of the day, there's a part of the Creator deposited inside you. And Gladys' part, Michael's part, your part, my part are all different. The meaning of that is that we were not created originally as outcomes of an individual mind. He said, "Let us." So we are created collaboratively. Let us create man in our own image and likeness. So there is us in creation. So we can't exist by function isolatedly. Whatever talent or gift you have is a part of a bigger picture. One of your big assignments in the world across languages and cultures since the Tower of Babel happened and human understanding has been fractured. Permit my speaking so many jargons quickly because of time. You need to go through the divides of understanding, time, space, travel if need be, to find your own missing pieces. You're part of a bigger supply chain. You will need some people's products or produce or outcomes as an input for your own work or your assignment or your destiny, and some will need yours. So you will be somewhere in the middle, be in the right middle. You may have to spend years learning about partnership, and if you've been burnt by partnerships, people have hurt you, you've really, really been hurt. If Joseph considered the hurt of his brothers, he would not be useful to still interpret the dream of Pharaoh. If he was mulling and had the wrong attitude in prison, but he was learning administration because a day was coming in his future when famine was going to be what he would manage to administrate. So I take my pain and how people have treated me as lessons and lectures in the school of my future greatness. I'm learning how not to partner. What I told you right now about value before value. Many people start many business enterprises from the financial numbers, not from value system. I learned that through pain of being beaten and dealt with repeatedly, stolen from. Everyone who's stolen from me or done something to me only trained me in how not to start. So there is no real regret or darkness in my journey, only light and brightness, learnings and understanding.
I agree.
That being said, you need to find your partners. After you found your gift, after you found your capacities, after you found what you came to the world and you've put to do and you've polished it and it's strong, you need to find different kinds of personalities, ambassadors, promoters, catalysts, suppliers. The list is long. And there are about 5 departments. You need to find them. And finding them will mean you make some mistakes.
Yeah.
Finding
But
them
you learn, Craig. You make mistakes, we learn, right? The
thank
chance to
you.
learn. You know,
But
we have to learn.
exactly, but you must find them. And that's how I found Annie. I had idea to write a book. Why did I come to you, Annie? You said my plan or my own dream is to make you famous. Really? And I know there's fame engineering. So I did some work. My work is input into your work, fame engineering. Your own work is input into somebody's, your own output is also input into somebody's work. So find those people, and they may be across other languages. They may be in another country. They may be in an uncomfortable place, but you've got to go look for them and don't get tired of looking for them. Amplify your gift, serve it to more persons. If collaboration is the way, do it. That's my last thought.
Like collaboration is the way. You know, for the reason that we mentioned, right? You know, literally We are so much more when we collaborate, when we get other ideas into our creation process, our innovation process. Yeah, that's a simple fact. There's no other way around it, right? So that's why obviously I'm all for promoting, how to make co-creation work. And look, thank you so much, everyone who's joined us. Look, my friends on stage, I want to respect your time. I will let you go. Next few minutes. Hold on, I want to turn my YouTube off because it's just annoying me. If anyone wants to go to my YouTube to watch the replay, please. I'll just share the link in the comments. So, watch the replays. I watch other videos, of course. When you watch the replays, give it, give the video a like, and make a comment. I want to learn from you, of course I do. But I need more followers. I need more subscribers. I need more. What's the word I'm looking for? Watch hours. That's what I'm looking for, right? I'm not going to be shy. I need all of your help, as Coach David said. Literally, we need each other. I said, Coach, you mentioned the spicy food earlier. Again, I don't know how you know what goes through my little mind, right? For everyone here, have you ever wondered why the food that the shops sell is so bland? Coach, our shops will sell you curry, for example. And a shop will sell you goat meat. They sell you a stew, right? Have you noticed all those ready meals? They were very bland. See, I'll tell you why. It's quite simple. It's part of co-creation. And you take this as you will, my friends, right? So what they do, they know the flavorsome version, but the customers, the forums have told them, you sell more if it's a bit less tasty. So they give us a neutral, lukewarm version because that's what really sells. It's odd, right? But that's the truth. That's why all the food that we buy is less flavorsome than anyone else than you've ever tasted anywhere. Co-creation, I guess that's when you're aiming to make more money. But the customers effectively tell them what to give us for them to buy the food. Maybe that's a risk in our business. If you look at it, if our customers are going to dumb us down, which they can do. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that to make this co-creation work. It takes work. It takes learning, Coach. It takes all the things we talked about today, right? Eventually we'll learn enough to I guess avoid that groupthink, that people like us thinking, the sounding board where it's like echo chamber, like social media is, where we only spend time with people who are just like us. They say what we want to hear. No, we want people who are going to be truly objective and truly help us move forward to give more value. That's our conversation today, my friends. Look, I appreciate everyone that's been here. Glad to see if there's anything you want to say before we go. Please feel free. But no, I'm so overjoyed to have you in the studio, and go.
No, I'm sorry, Annie. I'm sorry I didn't contribute more, but this is my first time, so just kind of new at this. I'm new at this.
I'm just glad you're here. I'm genuinely overjoyed. My friends, please do connect with each other. Of course, connect with Gladys, connect with Coach David, connect with everyone that shared with us, Selena as well. So go in the comments and find and just find people who you resonate with. And if you don't talk to anyone, nothing's gonna. You can't co-create. That's the thing. Again, so me and Coach David now we're going to say planning a tour of Africa with our empowerment conference. That's a joy. That's why I'm sharing the subject today. We can achieve such great things together. We have to be of the right mind, and then put the systems in place, and also be committed to making it work. Pull our weight. All the things we talked about today. If you miss it all, my friends, go and watch the replay. So thank you so much, everyone. And I shall let you go. Do enjoy your evening, of course. And please do join my conversation tomorrow. I do want to know what you would do. If would you collaborate? Would you work with someone with whom you had an argument? There's a reason I've used the words I use. I didn't say have, I said had. Right? So that gives an idea. I'm going to invite all of you, like I always do. But do join us, please. So enjoy your evening. Coach, hopefully, anything else you want to say before we go? I don't want to be rude. No, maybe I should ask you and Gladys. How do we contact you? What's the best way to reach out to you?
I'm on LinkedIn.
Okay. Superb.
Yes, Gladys and Bryce.
Yeah. Okay. Superb. No, if you have a problem connecting with anyone at my events, send me a DM. I'll basically I'll connect you in a group chat. That way you have each other's profiles and you can go from there, right? Well, thank you so much, Gladys. Go on, Coach, please.
Same here, like Gladys. I'm also on LinkedIn, a message, and we can talk from there. And if there is some money involved and the money is big, why not? You graduate, what's that?
Value. Money will come when you give value, Coach. But you know this already. Why am I telling you the obvious, right? If you give them value, they will pay you more than you even expect them to pay you, right?
I agree.
So thank you so much, Coach. It's always amazing, all of you. Enjoy. Take care. So bye for now. Bye.
Goodbye.
She's success with Global.Media.com and celebrate it with the without champagne or rum. She's success with Global.Media.